Hello, Geoff.
Hello, Sean.
Uh,
Greetings from the other side of the ocean.
there you are. I can't believe, the wonders of technology, right? It seems like you're right next to me here in my apartment.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Well,
Wonderful.
thanks for being here today. And before we start chatting, I just want to say right off the bat, thank you so much for mentioning the bit about smoking. It comes up a lot. And
Yeah.
one of our board members, I think, also did an article in Spinalized Plus about smoking and AS. And as with any disease, I'm sure, not smoking is better. So thank you for having a little personal connection to that.
Right. I mean, it's really true. And, if diagnosis helps you with one thing, it brings home the realities of all the things you've been doing wrong because nothing beats having no pain in AS. And if you stop smoking, you're going to get less pain.
Wow. Well, let's continue because I just wanted to thank you so much for bringing that up. So, but your passion, and we touched on yoga for AS just a little bit in your story because I wanted you to have a moment here to talk about it.
Thanks.
Just quickly, kind of tell us like your connection and your passion, and you can mention Jamie a little bit. I mean, I know some of this, but some of our listeners may not know. So, take
Yeah.
it away.
Cool. So after I was diagnosed, I joined the National Axial Spondyloarthritis Society here in England and found there was a local support group. So I went along to that at the local hospital and we did an hour's hydrotherapy and then an hour in the gym. And I thought, I get that. You know, my yoga has been reducing my pain and I've kept pretty stable. So I really enjoyed it and I loved that hour after hydrotherapy. And that was like a really golden hour for the yoga because you're really warmed up and you're nice and loose. And I would go to the gym, get my yoga mat out, go in a corner. The physios are doing their stuff and I'm doing my yoga in the corner there. And I loved it. And then I got heard about this AS 2 weeks inpatient course at the Royal National Hospital for Rheumatic Diseases in Bath, England. Went there, and the AS specialist physiotherapist there said to me, "Well, Geoff, you're in pretty good condition for what was I then, late 60s, early 60s maybe, and we think it's the yoga." So I go, I feel good with it, but what are you saying? And the lead physiotherapist there, who'd been there for 20 years, said to me, "It's the stretching that breaks up the inflammation." That was 2010. I went away and I thought, I don't quite believe this. But I carried on with my yoga, went back on the course in 2012, and I went up to her again and I said, "Breeza, have I got this right? It's the stretching in yoga that breaks up the inflammation, because that's key. You break up the inflammation, that process of erosion leading to fusion, you've got a good chance of minimizing that." And she said, "Yeah, you've got it right." So that was it. Me, I'm up and running there. I'm right. This is it now. We're gonna push yoga for AS, and I'm going to take it out there. So I went out and I bashed my head against the brick wall of acceptance of yoga as a medicine in AS from 2012 to about 2018, and I got nowhere. And that's putting it mildly. So then one night in the support group, in wanders this 18-year-old called Jamie, and he looks at me in the gym after hydrotherapy and says, "You're okay. What are you doing? That's different." And I said, "Well, I think it's the yoga." So he said, "Well, show me." So we did some yoga together there and we stayed in touch. And unbeknownst to me, he went off and he was practicing yoga every day for a year and getting a lot of improvement from being in a very dark place, having just been diagnosed, having had, at the age of 18, having had symptoms since he was 14. So we stayed in touch and he went off to university and he was sticking at it and he went off and he got trained as a yoga teacher. And I'm like, this young man is pretty special. And we stayed in touch and we kept talking. And he was saying, right, let's start a Facebook group, Yoga for AS. Come on. So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, Jamie, you young people and your Facebook and your social media, Um, and I thought we'd get a few dozen people. It's now at 3,500 of people around the world or thereabouts, literally all over the world. And we've started a website, and upshot is that we've got a virtual library now of over 200 hours of content of yoga modified for AS with 20 courses that you can do. And we give 4 yoga classes a week. Jamie does 2, one on strength and flexibility, one on stretch and relax, and then I do a beginners and an intermediate class. And I've got to say, our big supporters are from the United States. The largest group of our supporters are from the United States. So, you Americans, you've always been our friends. And well, here in Southampton, and my dad was fighting in Italy when he lost his leg with the Texas Rangers. So, it means a lot to me. It really does. Yeah, we've got big connections. So, I love the work of Spondylitis Association of America too. Some great stuff going on there. Well done, everybody there. And thank you, of course. So yeah, that's the story. So here we are. I'm 74. It's my project for my 70s. We're having a great time pushing the case for yoga for AS.
Absolutely. Hey, Geoff, thanks so much for sharing that story for folks. And I'll be sure to direct them to your website, and we'll put a link to the website and all that stuff in our presentation. So before I let you go, because I know that you're across the pond and we have different time zones and everything, what do you do for fun? What is just something in your hobby that's not yoga that you do for fun to just relax?
Well, we have a camper van, and we've just come back from a month touring in Spain and Portugal. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how you choose things over the years that are good for you. So a professor of ophthalmology said to me one time when I had a flare of iritis, uveitis, Geoff, the thing you need to do is get outdoors. The best thing you can do for your AS, for your immune system, is be outdoors. And I love being outdoors. Must be because it's good for me. So yeah, I love that. And obviously I practice my yoga, and I have a little guerrilla garden as well. And a guerrilla garden is a bit of land that nobody owns. Okay, and it's right next to our house at the back there. So I've made a little hole in the wall. And over the years, I've planted about 20 fruit trees and about 15 fruit bushes, loads of flowers, and brought it back to a bit of life. So whenever I want to chill, I just go over and sit there, and nobody can bother me. And I just prune a bit here and look after that there, and then pick the plums and the cherries, and yeah. And most of all, I enjoy my family. I've got 2 little grandchildren. I loved being a father, and I love being a granddad. I'm Gangan.
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 So on that note, what is one word you would give to someone who's newly diagnosed or watching this show for some hope or inspiration? Just like one word of advice.
Inject hope into your life.
Great. I totally agree with you. Geoff, it has been such a pleasure. You've done so much for SAA. I love working with you so much, you and Jamie. Thanks for sharing your story and being vulnerable. And I can't wait to share your story with the world. And we will see you soon.
I hope so, Sean. Thank you.